Hello everyone, this is Lord Phantom here and we're doing a sequel to one of the worst stories I've ever read. And it happened to be a Teletubbies creepypasta. And guess fucking what? It was based on Slendytubbies. Are you fucking kidding me? That is one of the stupidest things you could have done. It's a parody game. It's not meant to be taken seriously. If it was, I would know. Okay? Let's see how this piece of shit sequel goes. Teletubbies The Aftermath. Do you think that one lost episode of Teletubbies I have watched was disturbing and messed up? Guess again. My mom and I have gone to the cinema to see Spark a Space Tale, one of the most ambitious animated movies in the modern era. I don't know what that is. After we got out of the cinema, as we finished the movie, I noticed a box that was in the shape and size of a VHS tape left on the ground behind the trash cans for some reason. I asked my mom if I could pick up that box since it had a VHS tape inside of it. She agreed as I picked the box up, then head home. Okay, has your mom ever fucking learned to not pick up something that's behind the trash? Either your mom is stupid as well. For the sake of this story. If the Shadow Reader ever read any of these stories, he would be pissed off. I guarantee it. I opened the box and it was revealed to be another Teletubbies tape. The VHS with its casing was called Lambs and Other Stories. The cover consisted of the Teletubbies behind a magic tree, with Tinky Winky and Dipsy close to the cover, while Poe and Lala are behind the tree, inches away from the two male Tubbies. Like the previous cover on the yoga tape, which had the management episode, it had the same shit. On the back of the cover, the episodes were Lambs, Magic with Debbie, Naughty Sock, and one that had a strange and unheard title called The Aftermath. Holy shoot, is it a sequel to the last demented episode I've watched? I hope it's not even worse, I thought worryingly. I put the tape into the VHR, expecting the facade to happen in that final episode. Everything, including including the logo and promos, was normal. So does the first 3 episodes. However, the last episode was just a horror show to the max. Yeah. As the episode started, the intro was different. Sorry. It started where some baby rises, but the ladder was replaced with a new character, the Moon Baby. Played by another newborn actor who was a male baby I never heard of. The Moon Baby had no expression as he looked at the camera, not laughing or even crying. It was all nighttime and dark as the Moon Baby rose. It cut to where the Teletubbies' house is. The house seemed normal but not burnt down like in that terrible episode I'd seen last time. As the Teletubbies jumped out of the hole from the house, they looked entirely different as well. Tinky Winky had the same frightening face from that last episode, and let out that same blood-curdling scream from before as he appeared, only it was shortened. The other Teletubbies, Dipsy, Lala, and Poe, that were deceased appeared as ghosts which were glowing and had their colors faded out. The three ghost Tubbies looked bloodied, alas that the ghost of Dipsy's head was missing due to the decapitation. The logo appeared along with the balloon sound, but instead of saying Teletubbies, it said Slendytubbies. The name of the Slender in Space parody horror game. Inspired parody horror game, sorry. It got me confused as the logo exploded, starting the theme song. It went normal with the changes, but the song, however, was demonically low pitched, and a maniacal laugh would be heard whenever the chase hubby said hello or uh-oh. I should add. The laugh sounded similar to Stitch's laugh from Lilo and Stitch. Dude. That is pathetic. As the theme song ended, the voice trumpet rose and said this. Tinky Winky is around here somewhere in Teletubby Land working. After the voice trumpet said that, cut to the grassy hills with the narrator saying, one night in Teletubby Land, new visitors are coming to see what's going on. Then four new and unknown Teletubby characters arrived. The first one was a pink female Teletubby with an antenna in the shape of a head. She had the same skin tone as Dipsy's, and she was similar to Poe. The second one was an orange female Teletubby with an antenna in the shape of a Y, and she was similar to Lala. The third one was a blue male Teletubby with an antenna in the shape of a T, and he was similar to Tinky Winky. The fourth but last one was a white male Teletubby wearing a hat that looked like Dipsy's, hiding what seemed to be his antenna. He was unlike the other Teletubbies, but he seemed to be the Sherlock Holmes of Teletubby Land, or the player from the Slendytubbies game. He was holding what looked like a flashlight that seemed to be lit. The new Teletubbies, not the white one, looked like one of those unofficial OCs you should see on DeviantArt or any other social media site. Please introduce yourselves, the narrator commanded. Firstly, the pink female Teletubby, Lovey-Dovey. Secondly, the orange female Teletubby, Vixie. The third, the blue male Teletubby, Radar. The last one goes to the white male Teletubby, but instead of a silly and distinctive name, meaning that he didn't have one, it's just 2 words of who he is, Guardian Tubby. After they introduced themselves, the windmill spins preparing for the TV event. The 4 new Tubbies ran up to a hill where the usual Teletubbies should be for the said event. Vixie was, however, chosen for the TV event, and I saw it was something haunted and unexplainable. The TV event consisted of what looked to be a paranormal recording, which depicted a cameraman exploring an abandoned school during docks. As the exploration went on, the cameraman came across what seemed to be a child standing and crying in the hallway. Child in the question appeared to be the same boy from that TV event in the last minute episode. Are you okay? The cameraman asked in a deep monotone. No, the boy said to Stobbs. The boy stated that he wanted to see his mother again, saying that he hated being in the school. He said he was bullied a lot by other kids. One time I got in trouble for retaliation. Oddly enough, the cameraman laughed, not in a humorous way, but it was melancholy and sinister. So you got bullied, huh? Well, let's make it 100 times worse for you. The cameraman maniacally laughed as he pulled out a knife. No, please no! The boy screamed as he ran. I was not ready for this scene to happen. I believed that the cameraman who explored the school was a sick child murderer. As the contract killer cameraman chased the boy who was running and screaming for help, it went to stack ending the TV event. The new Tubbies, including myself, were shocked and scared about what had happened in that TV event. It then cut to the second Tubby segment where it showed what looked to be a bowl of Tubby custard on the grass. The background cresting looked like the location where the magic house left off from that episode called The Grand Old Duke of York. Lovey-Dovey appeared in this scene, looks at the bowl of Tubby custard on the grass, grabs it and asked, "What's that?" The narrator then answered, "That's Tubby custard." "Drink it?" Lovey-Dovey asked curiously. "No, you don't know what happens to that Tubby custard," the narrator warned. "Okay," Lovey-Dovey, as she said as she runs off to her friends holding a bowl of Tubby custard. Cut to the 3 new Tubbies as Lovey-Dovey runs to them. The Tubbies looked at the bowl of custard Lovey-Dovey holding and asked, "What's that?" "Tubby custard," Lovey-Dovey responded. Gummy and Tubby then cautioned, "Please don't drink the custard, it might have been poisoned by the killer." It wasn't in the usual Teletubby language as he spoke, it was in the way that an intelligent human being would say. "Tubby custard poisoned?" Radar exclaimed. Yes, the tubby custard may have been poisoned, the narrator concluded. Oh no! Vexy said worriedly. At that moment, a sudden low growl was heard. It came from Radar, meaning that he was hungry. Radar hungry, Radar said. As Radar got in safe for food, he snatched the bowl of poisoned tubby custard from Lovey Dovey and stupidly drank it. The three tubbies became stunned at what Radar had just drank from that bowl. You shouldn't have done that, Radar, the narrator yelled restlessly. At that moment, Radar let out a blood-curdling scream which sounds like a man in complete anguish. And his eyes started to bleed out of his tear ducts as he screamed and screamed until I could cover my ears as it gets louder. As it gets louder. The three Teletubbies started to convincingly scream in horror and panic at the same time as they watched Radar dying. Radar starting to cup up blood until his head explodes in grisly detail, kind of like special effects. Told you, the narrator said, concerned. As Radar died, the three new Tubbies ran away with incredibly fearful screams. Guardian Tubby, for some reason, grabbed the drunken Tubby custard that killed Radar. As they ran away from the death of Radar, they stumbled upon Poe's hanging with more bloody body on the noose that was on a realistic proportion of the magic tree. The TV screen was shattered, however. Lovey Dovey then anxiously asked, Who's that? That was Poe, the narrator answered. Poor Poe, Lovey Dovey concerned. This is not a good sign, Guardian Tubby exclaimed. Uh-oh, Vexy moaned. Inside the tree there was another bowl of Tubby custard which still could be poisoned. It then showed a point of view of what seemed to be the demonic Tinky Winky. But his vision seemed to have a red tint to it. He was hiding behind a tree looking at the three individuals. As it stopped showing the point of view of Tinky Winky, Guardian Tubby in question got up a red rag and put the second poisoned Tubby custard in, including the first one drunk by the now deceased Radar. Guardian Tubby collected 2 Cubby custards, the narrator said. Of course I did, he spoke. Guardian Tubby spoke. At that moment, the demonic Tinky Winky, who was hiding, ran towards the 3 new Tubbies, letting out that same blood-curdling scream. Oh my god, Guardian Tubby screamed. I never heard some kind of Teletubby say God and I presumed to be preschooler show. Alas, this episode in question started to feel like more like a whole overrated horror adventure kind of deal rather than educational and child friendly. The 3 Tubbies ran away screaming. As the Tubbies ran, Lovey Dovey fell over and couldn't get up. Tinky Winky then ran towards the tipped over Lovey Dovey, pinned the ladder to the ground, and viciously mauled her to death like a killer animal. Lovey Dovey finally died as Tinky Winky runs off. Cut to the 2 remaining Teletubbies, Vixie and Guardian Tubby, running away screaming. At that moment they encountered Lala's dead body lying next to a puddle, but the latter was a lot bloodied and her eyes were scratched out. The puddle, however, was mixed with her blood. Yet another bowl of poisoned tubby custard was next to Wawa's bloody corpse. I think I'm gonna be sick, Guardian Tubby exclaimed. Who's that? Vixie asked scaredly. That was Wawa, the narrator answered. Poor Wawa, Vixie concerned. Guardian Tubby picked up the third custard and put it in his wagon. Guardian Tubby collected 3 tubby custards, the narrator said. Right, Guardian Tubby said. Again, the same demonic Tinky Winky appeared, laying out that horrible scream I've been hearing all too much. He pushed Vexy into the bloody puddle as Guardian Tubby runs away, screaming. No, please, Vexy screamed. Then Tinky Winky strongly dunked Vexy's head into the bloody puddle water and let still at her drown as she was screaming. Vexy finally died. It then cut to Guardian Tubby running towards what seemed to be the Teletubbies' house. Guardian Tubby found the Teletubbies' house, the narrator said. Finally, a shelter. Guardian Tubby said in relief as he goes inside the house. Inside the house, it was not burned due to Tinky Winky setting the entirety on fire. The Tubby toaster and Tubby custard machine was broken and on fire, including the Nunu due to the malfunction. As Guardian Tubby explored around the house, he shrieked and encountered Dipsy's beheaded corpse laying on the floor with his head on the slide. The body was, however, not burned, but more bloodied. Who is this? Guardian Tubby asked nervously. That was Dipsy, the narrator responded. Next to the decapitated body of Dipsy was again another bowl of poisoned Teletubby custard. Guardian Tubby then grabbed the fourth bowl of custard and put it into the wagon that still had 3 bowls of it. Guardian Tubby collected 3 Teletubby custards, the narrator said. I'm sure there's more of these, Guardian Tubby said in curiosity. At that moment, the demonic Tinky Winky arrived again, laying out that godforsaken scream. He had slid down the slide, scaring the crap out of Guardian Tubby. As Guardian Tubby screamed, he fell over, including his head. As his hat came off from his head, he revealed that he had no antenna. All right, who is this? Guardian Tubby frighteningly asked the narrator as he stood up. That was Tinky Winky, the narrator responded. He was responsible for the murder of his own friends, including yours as well. Oh, Guardian Tubby said, but seriously, can you help? He was intentionally pushed by Tinky Winky, fracturing his limbs. I'm sorry, the narrator concerned. There's nothing we can do, but things have to be the way they have to be. Tinky Winky then pulled out an explosive C4 that came out of nowhere, activated it, and threw it at the now completely fractured and weak Guardian Tubby. No, this can't be. Guardian Tubby screamed, God help me, no, no, no. It then displayed the door of the Teletubbies' house. As the entire house exploded, Tinky Winky strongly jumped out the door of the house. It was then seen as slow motion effect was added in the scene, reminiscent of those modern day action movies you watch with your friends. Whoa, I was awed but still scared. Hmm. After the explosion, the entire house was destroyed, along with the wagon that had 4 bowls of the poison tubby custard. Guardian Tubby was blown into pieces, and his corpse reminded me of one of those exploded bodies you see while playing Team Fortress 2. Dipsy's beheaded and bloody corpse, however, remained the same after the explosion. It then cut to the Tubby Bye Bye segment, but then the voice trumpet said something different. In a slow voice, it said this: "Game over." It then showed the aftermath of one of the events that already happened in the episode. And I do get to mention that there's no music at all in the scene. It showed all the bodies. Lastly, as the credit rolled, it showed again the Teletubbies house destroyed due to the explosion. The corpses of Dipsy and Guardian Tubby were still present. A silhouette of Tinky and Winky could be seen in the far distance, standing on the hills in that shot. It stayed on as the credits kept rolling, not even showing the so-called Moon Baby, who was entirely a new character at the beginning of this horrible episode. That moment, fog came out of nowhere, over covering the whole shot that stayed. As it did after the credits, Tinky Winky's darning face pops up on screen, but he looked more different. His fur was a darker and dull purple, and he was covered in blood. His black eyeless sockets seemed to be dripping out blood. Alas, he lets out that same blood-curdling scream as he pops up, except it was slower, louder, distorted, and seemed to have a demonic effect added to it. I screamed loudly in extreme fright because of the intensity of the jump scare. Blah, blah, blah. I rewound the tape and called my mom. I have shown her the footage and she believed me. And the same thing happened to the previous episode. After the incident, I had a nightmare where Tinky Winky intruded my bedroom in the middle of the night. He still had that disturbing inhuman face as he arrived, laying out the familiar but loud curdling scream. I tried to get out of my bedroom, but Tinky Winky picked out a thick, sharp stick and stabbed me in the back with it. It was slow and exaggerating as the stick pushed through my torso. As Tinky Winky killed me, I woke up screaming and warning my mom for help. I was once again taken to therapy after that. My mom phoned the Ragdoll Company about 2 disturbing episodes of Teletubbies, which had Tinky Winky going on a murder spree and how there was a lot of crazy death scenes of one of the characters. They said they had no clue on how the episodes were made, and the writer of the 2 episodes remained unknown. You may encounter some neglected VHS tapes and DVDs of certain kids shows with trusted and unheard episodes anywhere, but I advise you to watch one of them at your own risk. Wow. That story was fucking worse. Still a horror show. There are reasons we don't do that while reading creepypastas. Hopefully in the future, they don't do shit like this anymore. Because one day, people are going to say this is horrible. So yeah, I give this a 0 out of 10. And next time, in season 3, we'll do Utonium's Family Secrets Part 2. So yeah.